Hi, everybody. Welcome to Queers and Soaps. I'm Tommy, and today I'm joined by Eric.
Okay.
And you're never going to believe this, but we're back for some Falcon Crest. It's been a very long time. I would say probably 6+ months, if not longer.
Yeah, right.
But we're
Not
finally.
my fault.
It's not my fault either. I'm busy. Um, but we're back for some more season 3. Today we're going to be discussing things that happened in episodes 21 to 24. So I'll roll the credits and we'll get right into it.
I actually thought you were going to say, you wouldn't believe this, but I know who Kay is.
I don't know who Kay is. Hey. Wait, is that Julia's alter ego?
Yes.
Okay, that makes the most sense.
Sometimes I'm like, are we watching the same show? Like, really?
I guess I have a little bit of ADHD. Like,
I
la la la. Well done.
guess so. Oh, a squirrel.
Or I'm looking down at my phone. I don't know. Anyway, so I guess we can pick up with Julia. We could just talk about everything that happened with her.
Yeah, I love her. You
So
know
it
my
was
girl.
she crazy. So she last we watched, I guess, if I recall, she escaped from the hospital, the asylum,
Yes.
wherever she was.
Hmm.
She cut her hair, stole a nurse's or orderly uniform, and that's how she got out.
Yep.
Um, she hitchhikes and steals this nice old man's wallet.
Yeah. She
and,
needed money.
and she's like proud of herself. Like she looks so devious counting the money.
Right? She's like,
So then she like has dinner or lunch. I don't know what time of day it was at a diner. And the waitress is like, "Is there anything else I can get you?" And she's like, "Your wig." And she's like, "What are you talking about? Like, I'm not wearing a wig." I think that she crazy. She's gonna snatch that wig right off your head.
But she paid for it. She gave her a 50.
Yeah, when she put the money out, I was actually expecting her to like just pull the wig off and have like a hair or whatever underneath, but it didn't do
I know.
that.
Right. Same.
So now she's kind of like, is that like a redhead or is it like a deep brown?
I think it's I think it's a dark red or a deep, yeah, I'm not sure. It
Yeah,
looks reddish to me.
yeah, it's darker. She's not blonde anymore. We'll just go with that.
Right.
Um, and she gets picked up by like we'll call him a J.R. Ewing wannabe.
Yeah.
I was gonna say John Ross, and I'm like, what does JR stand for?
Yeah.
And he thinks he's
It's
about to
rich
make money,
man.
and she's just like, ugh, don't touch me. But then there's um, like barricades or a police check because they're looking for her because she's on the run. So when she sees that, she's like, oh yeah, no. And she puts his arm around her, and now he thinks he's about to get lucky. And the cops are like questioning, and he's like, get in the way of a honeymoon. And I'm like, ew, you're gross.
And
Basically
she
saying,
was
get
like
me trying to fuck her. Like,
she was like, ooh, too. Did you see? I forget. I think it was when they like got to the gas station and he had gotten out of the car, and I forget if he like touched her or something. And did you see her face? She was like
no, I
she
didn't.
she like cringed, like she was like, it was really funny. I didn't notice that before.
So at the gas station, I guess he went inside to pay, or I don't know, get cigarettes. I don't know, or condoms, who knows?
Yeah, something.
But
Probably cigarettes. Everybody's smoking.
she notices like a bar, casino across the street, or across the way, not even across the street. So she wanders over there, and she starts playing the slots and like having a good time. And I'm like, this would have been her prime opportunity to just run. Why is she? I was like, does she want to make a scene? Like,
Yeah.
and hope that a stranger comes to her rescue? Like, so he finds her in there, and she's just like, nah, get lost, change my mind, whatever. And he gets aggressive, and a man watching this steps in and protects her, punches him,
My
and
man, Lucas. I
uh,
love him.
and I think he says something like, "Do you know who I am?" Like, was it Fillerman or Featherman? I'm a Featherman, and the guy's like, yeah, I don't really care.
Yeah.
So he leaves, and then he offers Julia / Kay a place to stay while she gets her shit together.
Yeah.
So she hides out with him, and while he's away working, I guess she like rearranges his house, cleans.
Yeah, she has nothing else to do, so why not?
Did he bring her flowers? Because like she was going through the cabinet, and it looked like she found a vase, and I'm like, oh, maybe for the flowers. But that's
Yeah, I think so.
she finds the gun. Um, I was under the impression that she already knows how to shoot a gun.
She does. Remember she shot at the end of season 2?
Yeah, I thought so. I'm like, she didn't stab
Yeah.
him. I was like trying to think how she killed Carlo. And I was like,
She
no, that
was
was a bludgeon.
she was just like you kind of using him kind of like to, oh, help me, I'm a woman, type
Yeah.
thing, I think.
So she sets it up for him to like offer to like teach her how to protect herself. She's like, I'm just so scared, like to go into town. What if he like finds me and like tries to attack me? And he's like, oh, you gotta protect yourself just in case I'm not here. And then it's when he takes out the gun and teaches her how to shoot, and she's just like shooting everything. When he's not around, she's shooting the bottles, she's shooting pumpkins, like she's just shooting.
She's like, I don't want to miss. Meanwhile, she's probably picturing. I was hoping like Angela's head would go over something. That's what I feel like she's
So
eyeing it
what is
up.
her what is her plan? Does she want to kill Angela? Like where is she, like what is her
Um,
plan?
she didn't really have a plan. She just was escaping. She's mental, as we know. Remember, what's her name? She calls home and talks to Lance.
Yeah, and she finds out that Joseph was given to
Cole.
Cole. Like she no Cole. which
um,
which can lead us into that story.
yeah,
Uh
but she is not happy with that, and then Angela, and she blames her mother. So this is where, so she already has an idea that she might want to kill Angela, but now she really wants to kill Angela
yeah.
because now Joseph isn't there, and that upsets Lance, which upsets her. So
So I guess segueing into that story. So Melissa's
oh, wait, one more thing. I must say the actor is Jeffrey Lewis, who is like a big character actor, and it's Juliette Lewis's dad. If
that
you know the
plays
actors
that plays Lucas.
that plays Lucas, yeah, he's in a ton of things,
Oh
like
really?
hundreds.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Oh cool.
yeah, I know. Go
Um
on, Cole.
so Melissa's like being a really good mom because like she's about to give up Joseph. She's like very attentive to him. Um the
Well,
glow
no, she remember they weren't going to give him up now because she lost the baby. So she had signed her rights to, was it, yeah, to Angela
uh-huh.
to play with it, and then Angela even told Chase like we weren't going to do that anymore.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, ultimately, of course, Angela wants her Falcon Crest back. So
But it's almost like I like because they keep saying you sold your child for Falcon Crest. So like I'm on their side. Like really, like you want that vineyard so bad that you're gonna give up your child. Like
she
really,
did.
and you're
Remember,
crying crocodile tears over it. Like then don't do it. Like
right? So she signed her rights over like episodes ago.
hmm
Um, before when she was still pregnant, I think.
okay,
Um, and then they thought, that it wasn't going to happen. That's why I remember the conversation she has with Angela. She's like, I can't. He's all I have. Like, I don't want to do this. Don't make me do this. And then she's like, I didn't make you do this. She had already signed it away, like, oh,
right,
him away. Sorry, it him away.
right,
Um, he's like the cutest kid, isn't he? He cracks me up.
yeah.
Good little actor.
So she gives in and she gives Joseph to Cole, and he says you can see him anytime you want. Um, I was like, pull it together. You're like hysterically like crying in front of this kid. I'm like, this is not how you want your kid to remember you. Like trauma that his mother was like hysterically crying.
I know.
um, so they leave. Actually, Chase was like in on this deal with Angela. I was like, yeah. I was like, this is a
Yeah.
little shady. And I'm not a big Chase fan, but I was just like, all right, I guess.
Well, Angela had gone to Chase in a previous episode, and she said, "This is." Remember, it was at that fair or whatever they had,
hmm
and she had mentioned it to him, and
hmm
he was like, "You're kidding, right?" And that's why when later on, like when he brought it up in this episode, she was like, "I was just messing around, like I wasn't serious." But then, he took her up on it, so she's like, "All right, well, if I can get my half of Falcon Crest back, then all right."
So Melissa like went and bought like Joseph a teddy bear. And then when he left,
Oh,
like, he didn't even take the teddy bear. So she's like clinging onto this teddy bear as something to squeeze because she can't have her baby. And she's just like,
well, he was going to, but he dropped it on the
yeah.
steps.
So she takes this as an opportunity to go to Chase and Linda's house to see Joseph
Cole,
and bring him the bear. Oh,
yeah.
Cole and Linda's house.
But Cole and Linda, they live with them though, for now,
They live with
right? Don't they live with Chase and Maggie?
Oh, it looked like a different house. They had like a front yard and everything.
Maybe they do have a house. I didn't remember them getting a house, but whatever, sure. I guess they have one.
Yeah, because
But
when
remember, even because
Joseph
even
ran
when they
out to the street, I was like, you just gonna let the child run into the street to Melissa? Like he went around like the white picket fence.
right, yeah, yeah, I guess you're right. It probably
And
is their
Linda's
own
all like,
house.
"What are you doing here?" And Melissa's like, "I'm here to see my child." And
But
she's like, "I don't think
I
that's a
mean,
good idea." She's like, he was about to have lunch." She's like, "Well, then maybe you have things to do in the kitchen."
and
She's like,
Melissa,
"Bitch, you killed my baby." And she's like, I didn't do that."
yeah,
And she like lets them like have time.
yeah, Melissa uses that to every time
Make her
to
feel guilty.
like, yeah, because she knows Linda's a chump. She
Yeah.
kind of is, unfortunately.
So then Cole comes home, sees Melissa with Joseph. Melissa leaves, and he's kind of like, I don't want you leaving Melissa alone with him. What if she tries to take him? And I was like, oh, so much for she can come see him anytime, huh?
Yeah, right.
And
I mean,
he notices because Melissa planted that seed that she feels guilty about the baby being lost in the accident or whatever.
right.
And he kind of
But
monitors future visits with Melissa.
but Melissa wouldn't really take like if he thinks about it. I mean, she signed her baby away. Like she can't take him
Yeah, but
away. You know what I mean?
well, not legally, but Melissa's crazy sometimes, and you never
That's true. Yeah.
know. um, so
She's
that's that.
unpredictable.
Okay. So I'm trying to remember what happened with Lance. Did Michael punch him when he like find Terry and him together, and that's why him and Terry are on the outs?
No,
Because
yeah.
Lance's face was like bruised from like a fight, and I couldn't remember if it was like a bar fight or if Michael punched him.
I don't think Michael punched him. I think he got in a bar fight,
Okay.
I believe. I
Okay.
can't remember though. It's been a while. But yeah, like
So
I know
yes, Terry
Michael.
and Michael are on the outs. He's like, "You're a hoe." I,
Yeah. I wouldn't no, he knows about her hooker past too.
yeah. So you're really a hoe. And,
Yeah. You're a high class though.
and he mentioned Lance. That's why I thought maybe he punched Lance. Um,
Yeah. He knew about them.
and he's like, yeah, he's like, I don't want anything to do with you. You're a hoe. Your sister's dying. She has a brain tumor.
Yeah.
So she like packs up, moves out. Um, tries to apologize and get him to like forgive her, but he's not having it. So
Mhm.
she goes to see Maggie, and Chase answers the door, and he's just like, "What are you doing here? You're a hoe. Like we don't like you. Go away."
Because
And
of the rift she caused between Michael and him and all
yeah,
that.
so she's like there to see Maggie, and Maggie's like, "It's okay," and she like runs into Maggie's arms, and they hug. And Chase like leaves them alone to talk, and I was like, I know it probably wasn't meant to be funny, but I was laughing. Tyler was just like, when I heard the news, like I was just so upset. She was like, it was almost like when I pushed you down the stairs and I thought you died.
Whoops.
And now that's
So this is the part I do like about Terry because uh yeah, she doesn't want Maggie to die. It is her sister, and this is like the only human part of Terry that you'll ever see. like when
I
it comes
remember I
to
came around to Terry
Maggie.
in season 4, and now that we're at the tail end of season 3, I'm like, okay, I think we're transitioning into the Terry that I like.
Right. It's still with me. I like her, but she's still an asshole because well, we can't talk about it right now, but once we get into early season 4, we'll talk about what happens. But
Right. I
she only cares about Maggie, though, is what I'll say. That's
right.
it.
I
Care less about anybody else.
I will say I've softened to her because I know that I end up liking her. Remember, I was like, I hated her the first time I watched this, and now
I did too.
I was like,
I
so I
did
was
too.
like, yeah, I was like, I'm kind of going easier on her this time because I know what she becomes.
Right. But
Uh,
Laura Johnson kills it. A she's a great actress in this role.
so Maggie's like, listen, I can't forgive or forget. Well, I can't forget everything you've done. She's like, all I can do is start from right now, like where we're at, and so like, and I love you, and she's like, you're my sister, and I was like, are you though? Like, I'm thinking about the future.
And again, the only reason this is happening is because Maggie has a tumor and she's dying. So
Right.
I mean, otherwise it might have taken a different path.
So I totally forgot about this whole tumor storyline, honestly. Like they're having dinner. Oh, Michael comes by and he like basically has the same conversation with Terry, like that you can't forget the past. All I can do is like get to know you and start from now. So that's pretty much the theme.
But
Like,
that
like you're a hoe, you were a hoe, and now you're not, I guess. So let's just start from now. Don't be a hoe.
well, that's also after he talks to Maggie and Maggie says, she does love you. So like he did get that out of her.
Yeah.
If Maggie didn't say that, he probably wouldn't have tried to get back with her.
Right. So
But
that
he's giving her another chance. Oh, but you missed the Lance part too. Remember, Terry was going to meet up with Michael, and
when he
Lance
was
was
in the
there
room
trying
and
to
then he made Michael think that something happened. That was
see. He did, and she wants nothing to do with Lance right now. She's like, "Listen, you ruined my shit." Which, by the way, remember at that party, she was all over Lance, and it was freaking Michael's house. I'm like, you're kind of like
wasn't she hosting the
flaunting,
party with like she was living at Michael's hosting this party and like all of her
yeah,
like
right. And now all of a sudden you're like against Lance and
yeah.
like I mean it was very much your fault. Like what the fuck?
I did like feature scenes where she was like in the bubble bath and Lance like had just gotten out of the shower. So thank you, shirtless Lorenzo Lamas. Um,
Yes.
and he was like, I could be there in 30 minutes. And she's like, nope, I'm with Michael. And he's like, never stopped you before. She's like, well, it does now. Click.
Yep. She blows them off
Yeah.
twice.
So I was like, good girl, Terry.
Yeah.
So there was like a dinner scene with Michael, Terry, Chase, and Maggie, and
Mm.
the low hanging lights and the over the dining room table starting to orb, and Maggie's like vision is getting blurred.
Mm.
Take her to the hospital, and she wants to start, I guess, chemotherapy to shrink the tumor, maybe. But before she can even get that happening, I guess it's gotten so big that it's hit something, a nerve, a lobe in her brain, I don't know, that she loses her vision completely.
Yeah. Well, she starts getting like where she like is foggy and she's just like she can't get a
Yeah.
grip on like things. But I love how melodramatic it is too. It's like dun, dun. She's like I can't see, and it's like the end of the episode is like dun. I
Blindness
love
is
it.
just like a trope of soap operas, isn't it?
It is. Yeah,
Yeah,
Blake
blind on Olive.
blind and
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
Allison blind.
Yeah. Oh, but
Does
Angela
anybody on Knots Landing get blind? I can't remember.
yes, and I can't remember who.
There is a blind man on the Colbys.
There is.
Yeah.
Oh no, I don't know about blindness. I'm thinking about when Karen was kind of paralyzed and she had to have that from the accident. That's why she
Yeah.
painkillers besides, dealing with Diana. But like,
I don't think anybody went blind on there. I don't remember anyone being blind, which is shocking for 14 years. I think
yeah,
somebody would have went blind.
yeah, I don't remember now that I'm thinking about it.
Yeah.
Um,
Wow.
but back
Go
to
nuts.
but Angela came to visit Maggie, and like,
Yes.
I thought there were moments in these episodes where I saw like a little bit of a softer side to Angela, and I kind of liked it. Like,
A little bit.
I'm just like, okay, like, it's like if Falcon Crest wasn't a thing, she might actually have a heart. It's almost like she cares about the people, but business comes first before family. And I'm just like,
It's the same with JR in Dallas. It's similar to that.
yeah, she like it was a quick visit, but she says she's gonna like pray for Maggie and she's gonna let her rest. But
So
even
that was confusing. So before that, there was one visit, and she's like, she told Maggie not to have the surgery. She's like, don't have surgery, and I'm like, does she want her to die? And
mhm,
then, and then the second time she went back, she was like really sweet with Maggie, and I'm like, I don't know what's going on with Angela.
right. So Maggie ends up having to have surgery. Did one of the surgeons? Well, Michael performs it with his friend, this woman that comes out of town, which kind of makes Terry jealous because
Lillian, yeah.
but did one of the doctors just like give up and like walk out of the surgery? I was like, "What happened?"
I'm done.
He was like, "Nope, she's gonna die. I'm leaving." I'm like, "What?"
No parts of this. Um, yeah, and that was another big moment for Terry. When she talked to Lillian, she's like, "Yeah, I would have been jealous of you, like if you came like last year." But
She was jealous though. She was side eyeing her.
she was a little bit because she even said she's like, "I know you and Michael still love each other, but she's like, you saved Maggie," and that's where the
Didn't
heart of
Maggie have like a heart
Terry.
attack on the table and then they revived her, but now she's in a coma? That's what happened.
She went in V-fib, so her heart stopped kind of, but
Mm,
not. Yeah, it was still active, but
right.
definitely near death.
Um, the my least favorite part of the show is the whole cartel part. I like
It's confusing. It's really confusing.
what's her name? What's his companion's name?
Pamela.
Pamela. I like Pamela and Richard's chemistry.
I love Pamela.
She's like playing double agent because she's working with the cartel. She
She
plants
has to.
she plants a bug in his phone, which he finds. So I didn't understand what was the thing with the trophy. So she broke the trophy. Were they
It
gonna
was a test.
were they gonna put a bug in the trophy?
No, it
No.
was a test.
Okay.
So they might actually end up bugging it, but it was a test for Pamela to make sure she was still with them.
Okay.
That's what Spira said. He's like, get that trophy, and however you got to do it to see if you're still on our side.
Okay.
Um, she's not on their side. Like that's what. Remember, you've seen her fighting with them, and she's like, I don't care. She's like, you can kill me. Like I don't give a shit. Like I'm done. Like I
She
love
even admits that-
Richard.
Yeah, she admits that she loves Richard. So
Yeah,
she looked fabulous in that white outfit with the boa when they went to the casino. I was like, oh
I
great.
made I made note of that too. I'm like, that was a giant white. I'm like, how do you even like hold that? Like what? It was crazy.
Well, that was one of the scenes where she basically gets abducted by them to tell like because they need to like threaten her to like work with them.
Yeah.
And Richard's just like gambling and then he can't find her. And my thought was like this wouldn't be a thing if he had a cell phone. Like
And
and then he
what
just goes
sucks?
home and I'm just like, what a world where he's just like, I can't find you. All right, I'll go home. And then she just comes home and he's like, where were you? Like, yeah, that's it. Like I just
But he trusts her.
like
That's the thing. That's the thing now, though. Like he trusts her like 100%. So
yeah,
now anything that he finds is gonna really hurt him.
yeah.
And that's what sucks because like this is obviously what will ruin their relationship because but I'm like she's being forced to,
But that's kind
unfortunately.
of like an aspect of Richard's character. Like he's very cold and like harsh and like makes like dickhead decisions and like
Yeah.
because he feels like he's always been abandoned and never accepted in his personal life. So it's like when he lets his guard down a little bit and he gets betrayed, then he's like, see, this is why I don't let people in, and he's just a dickhead again.
And she can't tell him because like everything's bugged. So it's like I mean, I guess she could write a note and be like, this is
Right.
what's happening. Maybe she didn't think of that.
Yeah, so they eventually both get abducted. They blow up her car. That was a nice car.
Yeah, they took her out of the
Didn't
car, run her off the
season
road.
4? Or am I mixing
What's
up
that?
seasons? Doesn't her car also blow up at the end of season 4? Because I was like, I feel like
Uh,
am I mixing up seasons? Maybe I mixed up seasons. I thought like
you might be. I want to say that's the beginning of season 5.
Yeah,
I
and then we
think.
think she's dead, and then she's recast, and then
Yeah.
yeah, I was like, I feel like does this happen again?
Now I remember I talked to when she got recasted. I talked to Sarah Douglas about that, and she said she was not asked back.
Hmm.
So I'm guessing they hired another actress at a cheaper rate because by season 5, she was already on for 2 seasons. They got to pay her more money. They don't want to do that, so they recast it and came up with that silly. But anyway, we're in season 3.
Yeah, but you got to figure season 3 she was recurring, so that's already a cheaper rate. And then she was only a regular for 1 season, which seems to be the going thing for the show. You get 1 season and then they kill you, but
Yeah, yeah, pretty much.
or they just write you off. um, so yeah,
I
they end
thought she was in the
up
credits
getting
though.
abducted in the end.
Yeah,
Maggie, Chase is talking to her while she's in her coma, and he's like, "I love you," and then she comes out of her coma and says, "I love you too," and it's a sweet moment.
yeah.
Um, was there anything with oh, what's her name? The one we love so much, Julia's sister,
Oh, Emma.
Emma.
No, Emma had tagged along with Angela to when she went to go meet up with that guy to make Philip jealous.
Right.
So yeah, we should talk about that because Philip and Angela work out
Yeah,
their
so like
issues.
Lance and Philip steal her workers to go work on his vineyard.
Yes,
Um, and Philip says something to Angela like, "I did it to show you how ruthless I was, so that you
yes.
could see how loyal I am to you." So I was just like, "What?"
It makes total sense because Angela needs an equal. It's
Yeah.
like that's basically what he said. Like, I can't be with you if I'm not your equal. So
Mhm.
he had to do conniving things
Mhm.
to be equal to her, and she respects that. Like she's like, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, and that
Um,
was also like a softer moment because you saw it in her face. Her eyes kind of
mhm.
not watered, but like there was a softness. And he like hugs her, and you just kind of see her face, and she looks vulnerable. And I'm just like,
Yep.
"Mm,
And she, yeah. So I guess yeah, they make up and they're pretty much I guess back together right
yeah."
now.
Um, and that's pretty
Yeah, the
much
Meg.
all I have. Maggie's awake from her coma. I guess the brain tumor's gone. Michael and Terry are back together.
Yeah,
Um,
Philip and
Cole
Angie are back
doing better.
together.
Joseph. Um, I'm sure because this is just Melissa's thing that she's gonna try and seduce Cole a few more times.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all I pretty much have. What about you?
Just making sure. I didn't have too many things. I think a lot of it was kind of filler, even though they were entertaining episodes.
The
Anytime
main
they
the major thing was the tumor story running through these 4 episodes.
right, and anytime you have like a hospital stuff, it's always people waiting around, people praying. It's like the same thing, and there's really not. Oh, the Tuscany Downs. I think the first day was in the last episode.
Okay.
So Tuscany Downs is opening, which is important too. I think the next episode with also the cartel.
Okay.
They need that to
That's
work.
the racetrack, right? That's the name of the
Mm,
racetrack? Mhm.
yeah. Sorry, honey. Also, I made note that Vicky did not come home or wasn't even
Oh my god.
called.
So you and I are on the same page because I was just like, "Wow." I was like, "This is really fucked up." Like, what a waste. Like, her mother's dying with a brain tumor, and she's not even gonna come to town, not even for a guest spot. Like,
Right.
really did not use the full potential of that character.
I
Like,
know. I know.
I
So
hate that.
I but
Any soap opera does that when the like a family member's dying. Like I get it logistically behind the scenes, like it's a either a scheduling thing or a money
an
thing,
extra
but
paycheck. Yep.
it's not good storytelling.
Right. It's not. I know. I don't like that either. I'm like, your mother's dying of a tumor. Vicky's not going to show up or call even. Hey,
Right.
mom, how you doing?
Uh,
Um,
all right. Well, if you don't have anything else to add, I guess we could wrap this up.
yeah, I don't. I think that's pretty much everything.
All right. Well, it was nice to revisit the vineyard. Next
After
time we
all
do
these
it,
months.
hopefully not in another 6 months, we will be wrapping up season 3. As always, you can find us on all the socials and on Patreon at Queers and Soaps. And until next time, have a great day. Bye. Bye.
Bye.